JD this to everyone out there in YouTube land and, you know, the obligatory Twitch. The purpose, the point of this broadcast is not for gameplay. It's to talk about something that I'm kind of excited about. As some of you may know, most of you probably don't, I used to play Halo 1, and I touched Halo 2 on the AGP and the MLG circuits. AGP was the Associates of Gaming Professionals. MLG, you should know, Major League Gaming. If you don't know, that's fine, it's not a big deal. It is what it is, but that's what we're talking about. Esports ecosystem. No, it'd be echo, yeah. I don't know how you'd say that one. I didn't realize it because I haven't really been following Halo. I've been focusing on career and work, etc. And of course, as many of you may have experienced, Halo 5. Still believe my total time in Halo 5 has been something like 8 hours, something low, compared to every other game. Anyway, apparently since January, Tashi with Halo Waypoint has been releasing blog posts about where they want to go, what they want to do, how they're planning on doing it, etc. So you can see this on HaloWaypoint.com. It's kind of exciting. Mainly because I don't want to. I am entirely too old to win a tournament. I just want to play competitively on occasion. Build a team, and go shoot people, or shoot at people, depending on what you're playing. So let's jump into it. I'm reading verbatim right here. So from Tashi, today's blog is pretty special. We're detailing some critical information that will have really huge impacts on the ecosystem, from players to teams to sponsors, operators, and everyone in between. Because today we're talking about competition platforms, competition's inputs, online platforms, and more. The first topic that he's discussing is PC versus console. For decades, war has been waged between gaming platforms of every kind. As their loyal fans have served as foot soldiers on the virtual battleground that we call the internet. Thankfully, the gaming industry has taken a turn for peace as more and more players are brought together, as games are offered on more and more platforms. Halo Infinite is no different. Halo Infinite is the first Halo game to launch simultaneously on PC and 2 separate generations of Xbox. I'm going to pause right there, because part of the reason why they're launching on 2 generations of Xbox is because you can't buy a new one. Alright, continuing. Sorry for the phone ringing in the background. Where were we? Oh yeah, so they'll have crossplay. For nearly 2 decades, Halo Esports was exclusively on console, and whatever platform we decided would have a really massive impact. We understand the gravity of that decision. Alright, continuing. We've been preaching our philosophy all year long. Halo Infinite Esports is an open ecosystem. We want to lower the barrier to entry so that we can grow the community as much as possible. The more players competing, then the more competitive and healthy scene. Oh, it is. Or is. I mistoned that sentence. And as we stated in our original blog, we believe in cultivating and uniting communities. We want Halo Esports to be bigger than it ever has been. We wanted to build a world where all that mattered was that there was a Halo fan, and that was it. Alright, so pausing, I'm not reading now. Now this is a double-edged sword. And I don't mean it's good and bad. I mean, they're not doing this simply for the fact that they can do this. They're doing this, well, because it will make their franchise healthier. All of the big esports that I see are, Call of Duty related, PUBG, what is it, Apex, and there's some others. What was it, StarCraft? It's good for their branding. It's like, hey, we're gonna clean up stuff so that you can get along with the game, and not just like me, to where I competed with Halo 3 even, but not on MLG or AGP. And I jumped in. It was Reach, I think. But this is actually what the community needs, because yes, it's going to help Bungie. Or yeah, it's going to help Bungie. It's going to help the game. It might even help Bungie. We don't know. We can never really tell. But it's going to help the community. And that's important for multiple reasons. I got a little more coffee. Sorry about the delay. I was away from the screen. And it's exciting. I want to play competitively. I don't want to invest a massive chunk of time or money. I don't know if everyone that watches is aware, but there are team houses, team housing situations. We had one. Back for Halo 1, we had a team housing situation. There's management fees. There's travel. There's housing when you travel. Where am I going to stay? And there's what am I going to eat? Goes down the line. The rest of this blog will probably verify my suspicions. I've kind of glanced over it, but I'm thinking they're going to be offering online events just like the recent. I did not participate in tournament. With what was it, Halo 3, I think it was. I was actually got the notice. Can't say it was an invite, but I got the notice. So going forward, I'm feeling we will be able to compete with, just like the World Series of Poker, WSOP. I have a rank in that because I play. Not all the time. Sometimes not even that year. Like, I don't think I've played since 2019. Still got a rank. I still got, this is, who you are. And the rank isn't for clout. It's for placement. It's for, this is a player you either want to watch out for or not. This isn't, 13-year-old, I've got a 50 on Halo 3. I've got the golden ring back. But it would be fun, because then I'm not just playing with friends and it's just a game, etc., etc. I want to go beyond legendary. I want to play against brains, someone that knows I might come around that corner. What are they going to do? All right, continuing. Should I read this part? I guess I'll read that part. With all that said, he says, we're excited to reveal that Halo Infinite Esports will be cross-play for all online tournaments. Okay, that was the next sentence. And online. Alright, back to it. Have a beefy PC rig? Great, you're ready to compete. Have a Last gen console, all good, you're ready as well. Just got your hands on a sweet new Xbox Series X? Nice, you're all set. Sorry, my Xbox went 10 minutes, okay. My Xbox did the standby thing that will interrupt the picture sometimes. Let's see. We had so much to consider in this decision, including player experience, tournament experience, as well as our partners in the ecosystem, such as teams and tournament operators. What we envisioned was an ecosystem where players had the choice, where if they had one platform, they weren't forced to get the other. And if they wanted to compete, forced to get the other if they wanted to compete. Where Halo Infinite was suddenly a game that had the choice to play when it wasn't in the past because of the platform they had already decided to invest in. This unfortunately doesn't include, I don't think, PlayStation, which is understandable to one point. Again, they're doing this to, in my opinion, to boost their franchise. And their franchise kind of focuses around Windows. PC. You're not gonna. It says PC, personal computer. Personal computer is synonymous with Windows. And of course, the Xbox is a Microsoft product. All right, moving on. Keen readers probably noticed I said it should be that. I'm continuing. Keen readers probably noticed that I said, or maybe I said works, quote, online tournaments, unquote. So what does that mean for LAN events? I love LAN events. That's my word. Alright, back. Halo Infinite Esports LAN events will be tried and true open events where anyone can sign up and compete, with a chance to work your way up to the open bracket into the Pro Championship bracket. Take a pause there. I want to play, but I don't need to be. I do not think I will even get close to being on or in a pro bracket. It's not about time investment. That's a myth. You do need to spend time playing a game to know the maps, to know the strategies, to know how the strategies evolve, to know if someone is falling back to an old strategy. I do that on Halo 1 and 2 online with the Master Chief Collection. And I'll dominate one game. Or at least I've dominated half a game, and then they realized, oh, you're using old Darkman tactic. From 2002, we're going to counter that like this. So that's fun for me. Anyway, going back. This means that, especially for a new Halo game, we're anticipating having more teams on site than any HCS event ever. And maybe any Halo event ever. What is HCS? I guess that's what they're calling it. We're coming for your record, Halo 2. To accommodate this, many teams, while having a smooth 3-day tournament experience that's as competitive as possible, we're needing to go in a direction we've not gone in before. In fact, we find ourselves in quite a unique scenario in all of esports. When you factor in the platforms and formats, and this is newer territory not only for us, but really for the industry as well. Let's see, there you go. They're admitting it at least every once in a while. If you're a pro player that starts an event weekend from pool play where you compete on main stage and featured stations, you'll be playing on PC. If you're a player competing in the open bracket, you'll be playing on the Xbox Series X. If you're a player that makes it out of the open bracket and into pool play or championship bracket, you'll be transitioned to PC mid-event. Oh, that bugs the piss out of me. Okay, whoa Tashi, this is a lot of news to take in. This is from the blog again. Can you go into more detail about why it'll work this way? Now, just deconstructing that, I agree with the question, which of course you posted himself in the blog, but I actually hadn't read that before. To accommodate this, many teams, while having a smooth 3-day tournament experience as competitive as possible, we're needing to go in a direction we've not gone in before. Okay. So you're going to be, well, if you progress, you'll be transitioning. So you're going to have to practice on PC. Now, I am both a PC and Xbox gamer. That's all I'm mentioning right now. It's all that's relevant. But even though I can play MCC on my PC, I do not. I don't like it. I did not play Halo Infinite, the flight they had recently, on PC either. I had the option. They sent me both invites. But I didn't even download it on PC. So I might have to do that. Halo on PC just wasn't for me. I never went that direction. I believe because of the length of time it took for Halo 1 to get on PC. Alright, coming back at you. Going back to the grind. Of course, he says, alright, let's break down the alternative scenarios that we felt were the most realistic to explore. Alt Scenario 1, all console. Alt Scenario 2, all PC. Okay, I can see that. I can actually understand. I haven't read past this part yet. I could understand that, because if, let's say I've boned up on this game on Xbox, I've drank my Red Bulls or my Mountain Dews, whatever anniversary or release edition you bought, and I just played that game and got ready, got twitchy, got my thumb stretched out, oh, let's do it, and I go in and dominate a PC player. I've done it in MCC though, I've won multiple times over PC. Anyway, is that fair to the PC player? And then flip that in reverse. You know, I go in, me, never played on PC. I've downloaded MCC on PC, didn't like it. That's it. Like I haven't completed a single campaign mission on PC. I couldn't get through it. I didn't like the control. But I go in and just can't even get a kill because I'm on PC trying to figure out WSAD and I'm WSAD. So that makes sense. You get used to both controls and you'll get to compete. Let's see, where does it go? If they start an event weekend from pool, you'll be on PC. If you're competing in open, you'll be on Xbox. If you're a player that makes it out of open and into pool or championship, you'll transition to PC. Okay, so that will only affect like the best of the Xbox players. Because if you're already on main stage and featured stations, you're used to PC. For the best Xbox players coming from online, it looks like open bracket, if I'm reading that right. Yeah, it'll only affect you if you do not, because if you got to the open bracket as a PC player, this means that you're going to be on an Xbox. That's going to screw some people up, just like me if I had to switch to PC. So it's balanced in a different way. It's not a way we're accustomed to. All right, moving on, because I'm not going to dwell on that too long. Any longer. Alright. We decided against alternate scenario 1 because, and I'm reading again, we knew for the absolute pinnacle of Halo competition with millions of dollars on the line, PC was the platform because that is the standard in esports. Agreed. We also knew that this was a lot of game. What? We also knew that this was what a lot of gamers were wanting, especially after running MCC tournaments on PC. There we go. Alt Scenario 2 was the other scenario we spent the most time working on, and was our first idea of what we wanted to go with. After months and months of deliberation and consultation with Esports Engine, who we worked with hand in hand, we decided that the scale we were looking to run on these open events logistics would not allow us to go all PC. It is important to keep in mind that these are fully open events. I'm pausing right there. Fully open event. That's awesome for me, because that means I'm going to play. I won't win. I don't expect to win. But I'm going to eliminate somebody that, shouldn't be there. Just like I'll get eliminated and I shouldn't be there. What? That is like a true sport to me. Okay. Going back, with hundreds and hundreds of matches for players to compete on. When we have to factor in managing all of the hardware and parts, some of which may be damaged during shipping, the increased number of variables that come into play on PC, software and hardware, drivers, net config, and much more, we realize the potential for issues to arise and the event to get massively delayed and behind schedule. And they screwed up there. Schedule was far too great to risk. Okay. You might be wondering, what about DreamHack Anaheim 2020? That was an all-PC event. They had an event in 2020. Always in Anaheim, too. Anyway. Yes, it was. Yes, it was, as in it was an all-PC event. Reading again, and that provided very valuable information for us. Ultimately, that was a 64-team open bracket on Halo Reach, and we're hoping to more than triple that for Halo Infinite LAN events. So it's a 64 team, you triple that, you got what you got. With an Xbox Series X, there's significantly fewer variables, and from an operations standpoint, we have full confidence that the event will run smoothly, and it will be a great tournament experience. Okay, so I can't disagree with, if you're competing online with anybody, you're going to play against PC. Alright, Tashi. All that makes sense, and of course I'm reading again. How's it going to work for the open bracket teams who have to transition from Xbox to PC? Now remember, I'm truncating this. I'm truncating this a little bit. I'm not saying Xbox Series X every time I see Xbox Series X. For the tournaments, if you're in person, you're going to be on an Xbox Series X. Okay. Great question. Going back to rating, and one that's important to us because we knew it was going to be one of the more unorthodox parts of the experience. It's worth noting that Halo Infinite will run at 120 on a Series X, which is twice the frame rate of Halo 5. Okay, you don't need to brag. This will be without question the best, most competitive console Halo experience ever. And from a gameplay perspective, there are no differences. Apps are the same, modes are the same, mechanics are the same. To accommodate for players coming from the open bracket, they will be given an allotment of time to exclusive access to warm up PCs before jumping into their next matches. That's fair. So you are going to have to acclimate. And I've already spoken on this topic, so I'm moving forward. Mouse and keyboard versus controllers is next topic. Yet another war has waged on for decades in gaming, and that's one of the mouse and keyboard versus controller debates. Once again, however, our aim is not to arbitrarily try to settle the score and just pick one over the other. Our aim is to be inclusive as possible and grow the competitive community around the world. Because of that, we're going to allow players to compete on controller or mouse and keyboard regardless of platform. Well, there you go. There's a good answer. Okay, I will address that. I hadn't read this part before. Like I said, I just glanced over this to see if it was worth talking about for 30-45 minutes on a video. If I could plug my controller into my PC and play, I think we're golden. I don't use a wireless controller anyway, so we don't need any special software for that. As long as I can use my Vision controller, I guess. It's not horribly off-brand, and it is Microsoft certified. We'll find out. I've never had the problem. I've seen that problem at past events. You have to have, you couldn't have a wireless headset back in the day. Even as far as Halo, if it was Reach or what. You had to have, I had the A50s, the plug-in, plugged into the mix amp, Pretty sure you couldn't have wireless controllers either. You had to have the plug-in ones. Mine doesn't even have batteries right now. It's one that does not come with batteries. Although I did not remove my vibrator. Alright, moving on, reading again. This means you might see an entire team on controller, entire teams on mouse and keyboard, or teams with mixed. We will also allow for keyboards and controller players to play on the Series X. I can say it that way, I guess. On the Xbox, at live events, if they're in the open bracket. If they're in the open bracket. Okay. Oh, well, the open bracket is the one with Xbox. Okay. For those who didn't compete in Halo, because it wasn't available on PC and was controller only, we welcome you with open arms and wish you the best of luck in the scene. So it's either way. We're so excited. Checking a text. We're so excited to see this entirely new dynamic come into play. Halo Esports will never be the same again. As always, but especially now, with so many new elements, we will be watching how the scene develops and how the tournaments unfold to ensure competitive integrity is maintained. Okay, well that's not bad. That's not bad. That's kind of fair. And it's really looking like I can use a controller on a PC, so I'm Gucci there. I might get used to the keyboard and mouse. I don't care. We'll find out. We'll find out what's necessary. This section is certainly not as glamorous or exciting. Oh, I'm moving on to the next section. Sorry, I got distracted. Didn't read it. Accounts and gamer tags. I don't think I read that. This section is certainly not as glamorous or exciting as the section above, but this section has critical information for players looking to compete. At prior Halo events, all accounts were provided by HCS and the operator. And so, players just needed to sit down and play. This will remain true for the open bracket, which kind of sucks to me. I've read this part. You will sit down and play on generic accounts that have been provided to you. However, For main stage and featured station play, we are requiring all players to log into their personal accounts. This part was highlighted. So main stage and featured station. You have to log in. He repeats that there. I just kind of... Okay. I'm reading over it again just to make sure I didn't miss a point. Now here's why. There are a few little reasons why we're changing this. All of the players' settings and configurations will be tied to the account. So it should be a lot faster for players to get situated and ready to compete. 2, we want to have event stats attached to a single account for pro players rather than in the past where it was attached to multiple accounts in a season. This will let us tell a nicer story about the league and the broadcast in the video content. We want players to have all of their... number 3, we want players to have all of their cosmetics for their Spartans ready to go. That's multiple reasons right there. You can probably guess they want to make sure that if I want to buy, say Ninja, hope he doesn't come to Halo. I'm not going to say it. But let's say Ninja has, the advanced purple dildo thing as his skin. And, then everyone will want to go buy that. So, selling stuff. Continuing. On top of this, each player who competes on PC will have their own SSD assigned to them. That's the hard drive, solid state drive. Assigned to them with their PC configuration set and ready to go after initial setup. When a player is not competing or warming up at the dedicated warm-up stations, their SSDs and peripheral controllers, mouse, keyboard, etc., will be locked away backstage. This will keep the equipment safe and ensure it won't be tampered with during the tournament, thus ensuring greater competitive integrity. This is the standard for major esports titles that operate on PC. Because especially with an SSD, you can install something pretty quickly. Esports engine account. This is the next topic. I haven't read this part at all. HCS for Halo Infinite will feature a point system that will be used for seeding and sometimes qualification that ties the entire ecosystem together. Players will be able to accrue points in the scene from multiple sources, including official HCS tournaments, both online and in person, but also HCS grassroots tournaments in the scene. Pausing there. I'm assuming that means if as long as you're registered or however you would do it, just like the WSOP. I can go to, Hara's casino and register at a WSOP event, and my performance will be tracked. Win, loss, whatever. The ELO, all the good stuff. So I'm assuming as long as, the Grand Hyatt Hotel wants to host a tournament that's an HCS event, as long as they go through the process of whatever that will be, for saying, hey, we want to do an event, this is us, and these are the players that are coming. Moving on. To track all of this, HCS will be leveraging the esports hiccuping. HCS will be leveraging the esports engine platform. Players will need to register an account on the platform to compete in any tournaments that award points. The esports engine platform will also manage official HCS events that we run with esports engine. This means that for the esports engine operated events, you'll buy your team's passes, finalize your roster, see brackets live, and much more right on the platform. This will make tournament operations more efficient for Esports Engine, resulting in a stronger player experience. That last paragraph kind of confused me a little bit, but we will have an online tournament platform where all official HCS online tournaments will take place. Okay. Once the online platform is announced and live, players will be able to register right away and link accounts in order to prepare for the competition. For clarity, this online tournament platform is separate from the above mentioned Esports Engine platform. Conclusion, Halo Infinite is a game that is more open and accessible to players than any prior Halo game, and HCS is following suit, with players competing on any platform as well as a controller or mouse and keyboard. We're hoping to have a deep competitive scene and fresh blood entering the scene at launch and beyond. On top of that, we're working to ensure better on-site event experience than ever before with our partners at Esports Engine. Thanks to you for everyone, blah, 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 blah. And jump on Twitter. All right. Well, that's fairly intuitive, I would say. It's not confusing. And yeah, that has something going for it. It sounds as if they're trying to broaden the field. Previously, like I was mentioning, some people, they'll mention other games and they don't care. But my biggest drawback was I had to travel to these tournaments. That means I have to take time off work. Because I work a 9 to 5. Taking time off work, yeah, you can use vacation days or sick days or flex days, whatever you have. Or you can, you try to squeeze in on a Saturday. But you've got to travel also. That means you'll have to fly or drive. There's an expense. There's time away from home. And I pay rent. I don't pay rent just to say I have a house. I pay rent to be home. So yeah, it's if I can play online, I'll play in more events. I'll enjoy myself, and at the same time, I'll be competing in the community I enjoy to compete with. And I never expect an invite, so I don't think I'll ever have to worry about switching. Alright, well that's going to be it for now then. I'm going to break it off, download this video, and put it up on the YouTubes. And thank you for watching this. If I can open the menu, there we go.